That was the first project I was part of. But you'll see the difference. It's dramatic. So, everything you see on that southern letterboard is new. It's all brand new, all reconstructed, cut. You can see the big difference between 3 years and brand new. 75, I think, had a paint job 3 years ago. So they fade quick. They get beat up in the sun. But yeah, it was awesome to be part of that project. That was the first project that I got to be a project manager on. They do that here. There are supervisors, there's about 3 of them. But as each project comes in, an hourly employee will be the project manager on it. And they're the go-to, they're in charge of it, they run it, and it keeps everything fresh. You don't have the same boss. I went from being in charge to answering to somebody in a matter of them pulling that car out and putting it in. It's nice. You know, it keeps you from being burned out. So we'll go over here and show you the last part of the tour.
Communities of Strasburg. Certainly no enterprise that just sprung up overnight. Before you folks today, millions of passengers have boarded our cars and ridden the road to paradise. We're very pleased to have you along with us today. Welcome aboard. One last safety reminder, folks, it is extremely important that you remain seated in the car that you are currently in. Please don't attempt to walk in between the cars or stand in the aisleways. We do need to keep them clear for the train crew. And also, if you need to take any pictures, please do that from the safety of your seat. Please don't attempt to exit the train or the car at any time, and especially don't stand on the platform. We greatly appreciate your cooperation. At this time as well, please make sure you have all your tickets out and ready for the trainmen when they come through to collect them. Please have that bottom portion tore off and handed off to them. And again, folks, if you're riding in the open air car, that is a special ticket area, and you need to have an open air ticket. If you don't, you'll be asked to move or charge $2 extra a ticket. Thank you very much for your cooperation. All aboard for Paradise. Our freight yard shortly coming into view on the left-hand side of the train, you'll notice a neat row of colorful cabooses. They belong to the Red Caboose Motel. It's a privately operated hotel and one of the only places in the world where you can spend the night in a real railroad caboose. Just behind the Red Caboose Motel is the Toy Train Museum. They have operating layouts and different toy trains operating on several different layouts. Certainly worth checking out. Fairview will be next. Fairview.
I'll get it. Okay.
Okay, the other end. Thank you. Aboard. Where you ride?
It was back in 1958 when the current Strasburg Railroad was saved and purchased by a group of local stockholders and dedicated railroad pups. These 24 dedicated individuals, organized in a fairly unusual corporate fashion, they had one president and 23 vice presidents. They all contributed their own money, blood, sweat, and tears, simply as a labor of love for the hard work of railroading. Without these 24 dedicated individuals, we would not have the railroad as we do today. The railroad is still organized in a similar corporate fashion. We are operated by a board of directors, locally owned by our stockholders. We don't receive any federal grants or subsidies for our operations. The government does anything but help us stay in business. A common question that we receive here on the railroad is how we determine how fast our train goes. It's a very good question and a very simple answer. The oldest timetable that we've ever found for our line was in the Strasburg newspaper way back when in 1853. We still try to follow that same basic schedule today. So So if you ever wondered just how fast great-great-grandpa traveled here on the Strasburg, this is it. We do appreciate your cooperation, though, and not jumping off of the train and running past our locomotive, because that infuriates our engineer. Shortly coming into view on the left-hand side of the train, you should see some long white buildings. They belong to Espenshade's Turkey Farm. Espenshade's is one of the oldest turkey farms in the United States, as proclaimed by the ever-popular publication Poultry World magazine, which I do believe for all you subscribers at one time was Turkey World magazine. The Espenshade's Turkey Farm is a very busy place in the months of November and December. But on an unrelated note, it's also a good time not to be a turkey here in Lancaster County. That tall cell phone tower you see behind the farm is built there for the turkeys, and so they can call home to their families during the very busy holiday season. Espenshade will be next. Espenshade. Many of them dating back as far as the 1890s. They've all been lovingly restored by the master craftsmen back in our mechanical shops. They've come from a number of different eras across the eastern seaboard, including to Boston and Maine, Western Maryland, Reading, and Maryland and Pennsylvania. We are very proud of the work we do to our equipment, and it is all thanks to you, our passengers, so thank you very, very much. All those proceeds that we get at the station go back into the business and preserving our railroad. Do take a look around you one more time, folks. The original mahogany trim, the beautiful mother of pearl inlay are all original to these cars and have been restored to their natural and current or original positions. The potbelly stoves are not just for looks either. They also work and keep us warm on those very distant winter days here in Lancaster County. The locomotive pulling our train today is number 475. She was built back in 1906 and over 110 years old. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep our steam locomotive fleet operating safely and reliably as well. Suburban stop along our line is up next at Cherry Hill Station. It may seem small to you, but that's because of the high rate of speed at which we go past it. Make sure to not blink, otherwise you'll miss it. The sign on the station reads Cherry Hill, population 17, more or less, meaning more when we arrive and a whole lot less when we leave. Cherry Hill is next. Cherry Hill. Down the left-hand side of the train, we'll be passing Ross Picnic Grove. We will not be stopping for passengers in this direction, but we will be stopping on the return trip because we've had passengers indicate to us that they want to get off the train there. During the warm summer months, almost all of our regularly scheduled passenger trains do stop at the Grove. Get off any westbound train, missing none of the ride, but don't forget to get off the last train of the day because it's a long walk back to the station. Free of charge to you, we provide the picnic tables, the barbecues, the benches, the playground equipment, period-style restroom, and a water well. Again, all you do have to provide is that food. also one of the very few locations in the world where two steam power passenger trains pass each other on a regular timetable schedule. Quite an amazing feat in the year 2017. Attention all children on the train. Do you believe in ghosts? Many years ago in the Second Valley off to the right, there was a little narrow gauge railroad, the Lancaster Oxford Southern, or the Little Old and Slow as they were known locally. When you're in the transportation game, folks, having a nickname like that's not good. Eventually they went bankrupt and abandoned in the year 1916. The scrappers came and ripped up the track so quickly that they left and stranded one of their steam engines, old number 6, out in an old cornfield to rust away to nothing more than a ghost, as little old engines do sitting in a cornfield. Now sometimes when we're lucky, we'll stop our train here at Carpenter's Crossing and we'll blow our whistle, and you might be able to hear the ghost of old number 6 whistle right back at us. It is a rare occasion these days, folks, because as the weather gets warmer, that ghost is on the beach a little bit more often. But we'll stop anyway and see if we can hear the ghost of old number 6 today. Raise your windows and listen very carefully. Here we go. I'm pretty disappointed, folks. I heard somebody imply that was an echo. Cash that paycheck, making her the highest paid employee on this railroad. Carpenters will be next for officers. Shortly, folks, the landscape is going to change and we're going to be crossing right on top of Strasburg's one and only bridge going across the hill. Now, folks, I do warn you, this is the most dangerous part of our journey today, and we do ask for your cooperation. Now, you'll know we're going over the bridge because you'll see where the Pumpkinville Turnpike goes underneath your feet. As soon as you see that's about to happen, we ask that you lift your feet. That's right, folks. Through some very inaccurate scientific research, we've determined that by lifting your feet, it takes some of the stress and strain off of our cars and the bridge. And after all, we still want it to be there if and when we return in a little bit. So as soon as you see the Pumpkinville Turnpike, folks, make sure to lift your feet. Good news, folks, it does look like we've made it across that old bridge one more time. Filers will be next. Filers. 11th Place Junction is next, where the main line of the Strasburg meets the former Pennsylvania Railroad main line, now owned by Amtrak. Our tracks are going to curve sharply to the left as we come alongside what was once the mighty Pennsylvania Railroad main line between New York and Chicago. It was a very busy place back in the day. Nearly 30 trains per day were scheduled to come through here in 1898. Today is still a fairly busy portion of railroad. Surely it doesn't train too fast by, but they don't even slow down. In a few moments, you'll recognize where Amtrak meets our tracks. Amtrak has the cement ties underneath their rail and the overhead capillary water that powers the high-speed Amtrak trains between Harrisburg and Philadelphia. Back in the day here at Lemon Place, where the lumber company stands today, would have stood Henry Lehman's Hotel. You could have gotten off the train and gotten fresh horses and refreshments for yourself before you headed on your long journey westward at this location. Abraham Lincoln would also pass through this site in 1861 on his inauguration journey to Washington, D.C. He would briefly stop for a moment and address a crowd of folks, requiring the Strasburg Railroad to buy their very first passenger coach. Now, folks, I give you Paradise. Paradise, Pennsylvania, that is. Change here for Coatesville, Paoli, Philadelphia, Trenton, Newark, and New York. That is if you can run fast enough to catch one of those 80-mile-an-hour Amtrak high-speed passenger trains. Now, I know it may not seem like very much, but how often is it that we're able to tell our friends that we've been to Paradise and back? So we're going to enjoy the journey while we're here. You're in luck, folks. We're actually going to be having a bit of a layover here in beautiful downtown Paradise, Pennsylvania. Our locomotive is going to disconnect from the rear of our train and cross by the interchange track just to the very right-hand side of us. And she's going to be heading up to the front of the train to pull us back to the station. Our engineer and firemen today are Earl and Aaron, and they've worked very hard to get us here today. So as soon as you see them go past your window, make sure to give them a big cheer and hurrah, and tell them how much you appreciate all their hard work up in that locomotive. Because if it's 90 degrees outside, it's probably about 130 degrees inside that hot locomotive cab. And after all, when it's that hot, it's pretty easy to forget about all of us back here in the coaches, and we don't want to be stranded in Paradise, no matter how pleasant that may sound. Now, folks, when we do come to a stop in just a few seconds, please remain seated again. It's extremely important that you don't get up or walk around. If you do need to take a picture of the locomotive, this is a good opportunity to. Just do that, please, from the safety of your seat, and at no time exit the coach and stand on the end platform. Again, please remain seated. Feel free to stand in the aisleways, though, and flip your seats back if you're in a car where you have flippable seats. But do remain seated, and a nice wave from our nice air-conditioned cars.
Strasburg. Strasburg next up.
Picnic Grove will be next. Picnic passengers, this is your stop. Please get ready to disembark. Please exit the train only at one of the 3 locations. You see a uniformed train crew member. Please do not attempt to exit the train or get off the train by yourself. Please be aware if you do choose to get off the train, you will be at the Picnic Grove for approximately 1 hour until the next train returns from the station. And please do be aware that if you do get off on this train, please get on a train by 3:30. The last train that will be passing through our Picnic Grove will be leaving at 3:30 this afternoon. So do be sure, make sure to get on that train because it is a very long walk back to the station. Ross Grove will be next. Ross Grove. Strasburg station where you purchased your ticket is a typical small town depot built in the later century by the Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad in East Petersburg, Pennsylvania. This station was moved to its current location in 1960 and has been serving us faithfully ever since. Along the wall at our station, you'll find several fun activities and different things to enjoy. If you're looking for a complete meal or just a snack, the Trackside Cafe is sure to fit the bill. And don't forget to check out one of our outstanding gift shops, one toy store based around Thomas the Tank Engine, and 2 other gift shops that have a large variety of different railroad memorabilia and merchandise to fit any budget. And don't forget about the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. It's located directly across the street from our station. It houses one of the largest collections of railroad rolling stock, equipment, artifacts of interest to the entire world. Certainly worth checking out, and they are open until 5 o'clock today, again directly across the street from our station. Do take the time to try and come back and visit us very soon. Throughout the year we do have lots of other fun events for you and your family to enjoy. Thomas the Tank Engine and his best pal Percy come and visit the Strasburg Railroad every June, September, and November to give their best friends rides along our railroad. Throughout the Christmas season as well, we have a number of different tree trains Christmas trains, Santa Claus trains, and night before Christmas trains. So we do encourage you to come back between the weekends before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Certainly a great way to spend the holiday season here at the railroad. By the time we reach the station, we will have traveled 9 miles over the rails of history. We'd like to thank each and every one of you very much for riding with us today, because without you, none of this would be possible. Your ticket today not only got you a ride on America's oldest short line railroad, but it's a contribution to preserving our past and present. Grand Central Station, East Strasburg, will be next. One final note of safety as we do pull into the station this afternoon. Please remain seated until the train does come to a complete stop at the East Strasburg station. Do exit that train only on the station platform side, and do watch your step down those steep and narrow walkways. Again, do please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop in the East Strasburg station. At this time, folks, please take a look around you. Please make sure you're not forgetting any of your personal belongings. Locomotive 475 will be passing us by on the parking lot side of the track, so do use caution when heading back to your car and crossing the track. Remember, the golden rule of crossing railroad tracks is to stop, look, and listen. And do stow away those distracting electronic devices when you do cross our tracks today. On behalf of all of us this afternoon here at the Strasburg Railroad Company, we thank you very much for riding with us, because again, without you, none of this would be possible. Here's to wishing you and your own the safest of travels to wherever your next destination may take you. Grand Central Station, East Strasburg Station will be next. Grand Central Station, East Strasburg will be our last and final stop. All passengers will change.